Of News and Views is sponsored by Africa Muslims Agency. Africa Muslims Agency, a beacon of hope to communities for over 35 years in Africa and beyond. And don't forget to stay tuned, because we are going to take a listen a little later on to the Fired Up series with Hafiz Imran Chunara. He is a personal excellence mentor and CEO of Africa Muslims Agency. But first up, we're going to take a listen and we're going to view Heard on Air with Francesca Albanese, and she dissects the truth on Palestine, Trump, the ICC sanctions, and the Gaza truce.
Thank you, Zalailo, for having me, and hello, wonderful people of South Africa. President Trump has been talking about withdrawing from the world. Well, do that without throwing everything down with it, or throwing everything with you, without destroying the entire system. That's fine, but it makes many of us gives the possibility of many of us to test our solidarity. This ceasefire could have been enforced in May last year, and the reason why it didn't happen is because of Netanyahu's opposition. Now, what do I think of the ceasefire now? That it's very fragile. It's very fragile, and it's telling that Prime Minister Netanyahu went to the United States at the time the second phase of the ceasefire had to be negotiated, saying, I don't know if I want to be bound by it, if I want to continue. And voila, we know this dark allegiance is going to lead in. As someone who has looked from very, very close the last 15 months, and also what Israeli politicians, including the Prime Minister, have said, I don't think that there is anything close to good faith that can come from this the Prime Minister, because he's not interested in rescuing the hostages, and this is clear. The Israeli people know that, and there have been the largest protest for over 1 year in Israel. People need to register that what Israel has been doing over the past 15 months is a step toward the realization in the mind of some of Greater Israel as the land for exclusive and self-determination of the Jewish people from the river to the sea. So without the Palestinians, this is a step forward toward ethnic cleansing. So this is the discussion that has been ongoing in Israel and among Israeli leaders, politicians, and large segments of the Israeli societies of the past months. And is clearly not interested in peace. The problem is its Western allies, the United States, but also countries like my own, Italy, who are there saying, well, the two-state solution is no longer possible because Gaza is destroyed, so alas, the Palestinians have to leave. Do you see the incredible cruelty and cynicism? First, they have allowed Israel to destroy Gaza, and now they are expecting that the Palestinians in Gaza will move to Egypt and Jordan because they have left with no other solutions. It's nonsense. This might be a new beginning, because all the member states, from South Africa to Denmark, from Portugal to Southeast Asia, everyone who doesn't have an interest cannot benefit from the madness that President Trump and its Israeli companions are propagating. And we are talking of 191 member states. They, or most of them, they must unite, stand together, rediscover the force of multilateralism. And this is an opportunity for the global North, who has been really who has deceived and disappointed so many, including its own citizens, their own citizens, this past 15 months for their hypocritical, pathetic stance on Palestine. This is an opportunity to regain credibility and support. So I do encourage member states to stay calm, not to panic, to get together, to talk, to rediscover ways to stick to each other, united, again, the US has been, President Trump has been talking about withdrawing from the world. Well, do that without throwing everything down with it, or throwing everything with you, without destroying the entire system. That's fine, but it makes many of us, it gives the possibility of many of us to test our solidarity. Now, one thing is important, and I want to say that also to acknowledge the South African government. I mean, I hope that South African people understand the pivotal role your country has played at international level, because hadn't it been for South Africa, the hope in the international justice system would have not been ignited. It has been so powerful, the action that South Africa has taken to bring to justice Israel. The first genocide, in fact, a settler colonial genocide to ever be litigated, the first settler colonial genocide to be litigated before an international court. This is amazing. Also in the context of the ICJ work that concluded last year, declaring eventually the legality of the occupation. So this is impressive, but this is not the only thing that South Africa has done. South Africa, Namibia, Belize, Cuba, Honduras, other states, 9 states have joined an initiative called the Hague Group, committing to stop arms transfer, to give no harbor to transfers to Israel, and to investigate and prosecute criminals, people who might have committed crimes in the current genocides and in the context of the occupied Palestinian territory. This is immense. This is immense, and all countries have these obligations, and we need states to move from words to actions, from words to deeds, and walk the talk, you know. And I'm so grateful that South Africa, Namibia are among the states that are leading this process. Many more needs to join it.